All right, what up, everybody? It's me back again. I'm gonna try and keep doing these. Like I said, I feel kind of therapeutic talking to the microphone. Maybe not in a rhyme or song sort of thing, but just explaining my experiences of being maybe an independent underground artist. I love the underground, so it's not a knock to me to say I'm an underground artist. I am, but I thought I would go ahead and just continue, maybe just highlighting some of the experiences that I've had as far as recording music and just personal and professional and business. And I think my last conversation I was talking about the work that goes into putting out a record and maybe people not understanding that. And this time I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go on the personal side of it, and we'll talk about like relationships and just being an artist and how that entails. And I don't know where I read it from. It was probably on Facebook or Instagram or who knows, whatever. But it read somewhere as like a meme or something where somebody's like, artists are not meant to be loved. And I sort of agree with that, right? I kind of agree that maybe artists are not meant to be loved. Maybe we're hard to love because sometimes the art will come over the relationship. And sometimes you might not notice that that's happening. You might be like, hey, I'm in my creative bag and I need the space and time so I can create and make this music. And I'm only talking from a music perspective. If people out there make draw, or if they make movies or whatever your art is, if you do a different art, let me know if this is kind of true for you as well. But I find that maybe loving an artist is probably a tough situation, right? For one, an artist is always going to put the art before the relationship. And that might sound fucked up, but it's probably true, right? We're going to probably put the art before the relationship, and that's probably in business and everything too, because it takes a lot of time and effort to really get something tangible and something that can kind of make progress, right? So you as an artist, you think about this maybe your whole life. Like I remember wanting to do music since maybe about 14 or so, and your whole life you're thinking about, hey, how can I get this done, or how can I make this song, or you're writing, you're doing. You're being creative, right? And sometimes the creative process can come any time of the night. It can come at midnight. It can come at 2 a.m. It could be at 5 o'clock. And maybe giving the attention to a significant other can be difficult, because when you're in that moment, and I'm a strong believer that you have to capture the moment at that time. You can't come back to it an hour or 2 hours later or 3 hours, because you're going to lose that momentum or whatever that feeling was. And sometimes you neglect that person that, your significant other that is maybe wants to support you, and maybe they do understand. But it takes a strong person, I think, to understand exactly what an artist goes through, right? I think it takes a strong person to know, hey, this person needs their time or their space or whatever they got to do to create because they're trying to do something. And on top of that, you are creating and doing whatever you have to do for free. So you're not getting paid to do this at the time. You're not spending quality time. It's not like this is going to benefit somebody immediately. It's going to take time away, and somebody might have something on the books that they want to do. It's just a hard situation, I guess, to understand an artist, whatever. And it might be a hard situation for the other person as well. You know what I mean? The other person's like, hey, I really enjoy hanging out with you, and I'm not hanging out with you. And there's nothing like, when you first meet that someone that you want to hang out with or whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing like that feeling, right? When you feel it's at work or school, or you see them at the bus stop, wherever it is, you know what I'm saying? When you see that person, you pop up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is like, oh, we get to see so-and-so today, hopefully, or how's this interaction going to go? And there's nothing better than when they feel the same way back, right? So that initial, I think humans themselves and ourselves, we're just, hunter-gatherers, we're communal. We need that, that connection. I think that's a lot what's happening even today's times. Everybody's disconnected a little bit, and I think humans actually need that for, a strong mind, strong body, strong will. So there's nothing like that feeling, right? And an artist definitely, wants to feel that, right? Who on the planet doesn't want to be loved or whatever, or what entity doesn't want to feel that. But it's kind of hard when you're so focused on possibly, trying to create something that you think is going to be your career. It's going to help you, put together a nice project or whatever. And it might be kind of tough when you're neglecting that person that is, trying to support you. I'm sure most people want to support and do what they have to do to try to help you out in your case, or your quest. But it might be hard for them. It might be hard for you. And after a while, I think that wears thin on people, right? And I think an artist is supposed to hurt, right? I really do think that an artist is supposed to hurt. You're supposed to feel this pain because we are the ones that share the experience and the feeling to the masses or to whoever's listening to us, right? A lot of people will go through certain things and they might go and talk to their friends or whatever, but we're like the soundtrack to that person's life. Okay, if I'm going through this, going through that, I'll put this song on and this will make me feel a certain way. It might make me feel sad. It might make me feel a little better. It's just our duty as an artist to kind of document what we're going through to maybe possibly help somebody else, not hurt, help somebody else. Because we're displaying our emotion on a song, on a track, or I'm only speaking for music. Like I said, if there's other artists that feel this way, by all means, let me know. But I have talked to a few music artists that said, it was hard because I did have, this girlfriend that didn't understand that I was going to the studio or I was going to the videos or I was doing all this stuff and I wasn't spending time with them. Or I do know other artists that say, hey, you know what? I had to fall back from doing music and really spend time with my family because everything was getting a little rocky and things were getting a little shaky and it wasn't really working out the best situation. I had to, make a decision. I all my life have been doing music, and like I said, literally I've lost the same girl 2 times, and it could be due to music, it could be due to the artwork, not the artwork, but the art catalog that I'm trying to put together, because I'm going to keep it all the way 100 again. An artist will almost always pick the project over the relationship, right? And you're always going to pick the art because the art is what you've grown up on. This is what you feel. Art is very passionate. You have to really be in a place to really create something, whatever. So most of the time, an artist is really going to pick that over the relationship. They're not gonna be able to understand why the person that they're with doesn't understand that the art is important to them, right? So they might do a little blame or whatever. And then on the flip side, like I said, the person that's trying to support might not understand, like, hey, how can you put so much time and effort in this art? You're putting, every day 10, 15 hours a day, and you're not giving me any attention, and I don't understand how you want me to support you in that, right? And that's kind of, I guess, the balance. I do know a few artists that, have found love, and that's probably a great thing. If you're able to have someone support your art and understand exactly what, it comes with, you know what I'm saying? It comes with a lot of dedication. And I guess a connection and relationships in general are tough because most of the times those, just in life, it's hard to find someone to connect with that understands you, whatever. So I can imagine if you're an artist and somebody understands that, hey, I have to do this all the time because it makes me feel in a certain way or gets me in a certain vibe, and they understand that that's probably a beautiful situation. I'm gonna stop saying I'm trying to get better at this a little bit, but I think, and this is just me personally, like I said, I'm speaking from just an experience. I don't know if this is all artists, but I think that even though an artist is not supposed to be loved, we're supposed to feel it, and it's supposed to be taken away from us, right? Because without that experience, how can we relay that to whoever needs to hear it in our art? We're supposed to go ahead and say, hey, I am supposed to be in love with this person. This is how it's supposed to be, whatever it's supposed to be. And then it's supposed to be taken away from us so we can feel the pain, so we can go out there and write whatever we have to write or do what we have to do to make the art. The unfortunate thing is, like for me, is whenever there is a separation or whenever there is some type of heartbreak or whatever, I don't want to record anymore. Like, I don't want to make any music. I don't want to do anything. I live in that moment, and I don't want to live in the moment, but I just live in that moment. And it takes for me to feel so bad about the situation, right, that I have to write about it and I have to get it out because internally it's tearing me up, right? I just can't, I don't like feeling it and whatever. And then I'll go into the studio, I'll find something and I'll rhyme and record over it and I'll feel a little better, you know what I'm saying? But what happens is I'll listen to it like somebody else will listen to a song that helps get them through, and I'll listen to my song that I recorded to help get me through, and it sometimes helps a little bit. It's like, yeah, this kind of And mostly helps because it's the exact emotion I'm feeling. So I don't know, somebody might be able to relate to it, but this is probably the exact emotion I'm feeling, whatever. I think, and I want to say it carefully, but I think loving an artist or trying to be involved with somebody that is making music or trying to get maybe a career or even a business or something of that sort, and seeing how much dedication and time it takes, I think maybe it's going to take a very understanding person to relate to that. And a lot of times, and this is no knock, I'm not shooting any shots at anybody or anything like that, even a personal situation. This is just in general observation. I think what happens is with people nowadays, they look at a situation of how they want it to be in their lives, right? How they expect some type of connection or bond to be in their lives. And we're in such a new age or era now where if it doesn't match up, then you can walk away at any time, right? You can leave and start over and find somebody that is better equipped to give you what you need at that time. But the problem is, like I said, a lot of people keep leaving, and they might be leaving the wrong situation, or who knows, they might be leaving a better situation. I think it's just in this day and age, it's just a little easier to keep looking for what you want. You know what I'm saying? We're on social media, and social media kind of gives a narrative of, I don't want to say a bit good or bad. I don't really care about what happens on social media or anything, but I don't think it's good or bad. But it gives a narrative of what somebody might see and what they might expect from somebody. So if originally you're like, hey, I'm with this person, they're an artist, I'm going to support them, and then after 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, they're still doing the art, but it's not necessarily on a mainstream or a famous or even a multi-million-dollar access type of deal, then you might look at the other person a certain way, right? You might look at them and go, hey, you've been putting the art together for a long time. It's not really working out how we thought it was going to work. Maybe you should give it up. But for an artist to give up the art is almost equally as like being, if to make me choose over doing music or doing some type of, what I love, and then choosing the love, like I said before, most of the time the artist is going to pick the art over the person, and that's where the split happens. Now, I do think, I'm not going to say all artists, but I do think that, some artists find love and they find a balance, and those are really lucky people to me. I think somebody that can still create and find someone that understands that, hey, this is a priority to me, this is something that makes me feel a certain way, feel really good inside, that I have to do that. And the person understands that, hey, you know what, sometimes this person is going to lock themselves into whatever vice they have to, whatever, to get this done for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, and then come back to me, and they understand that. It has to be a beautiful situation. I'm just coming from an artist standpoint, right? Because, how wonderful is that to go ahead and create your art and then still know that you have somebody there that's going to go ahead and still be by your side, even though they had to suffer a little bit until you get to that project or get that project completed. I'm going to keep these kind of quick. I'm not going to do too many of them very long. Like I said, I know I'm not being checked like that for the most part, but I'm going to try and keep this pretty quick. I'm going to wrap it up a little bit here and just say that I think that art is needed. It's shared. It's given. When somebody hears a good, good song or a good vibe, they share it. When somebody hears a sad song or sad vibe, they'll go ahead and share it. They'll say, hey, this is the, and it creates an emotion. I think a lot of times emotions need to be shared, and need to be expressed, right? And I think art helps with that. I think the breakups, I think the ups and downs, I think all that helps with the artist to grab the best art and the best product that they can put out art-wise. Does it absolutely suck that that an artist probably doesn't deserve love? Probably. It does suck, right? Because I think everybody's supposed to have love. That's why we have pets and dogs and cats, and this is why we have friends and moms and dads and all that stuff. Not saying that the parental love and the kid love is, a different whatever. My children, best thing, saying I love hugging on my daughter and watching TV and just, doing the dad thing. And my son, I like kind of grooming him into making sure that he's going to have a nice set life as he gets older as well. My daughter too, of course. But I just like that aspect of it. But as far as a person on a personal level, like, hey, I pick you to be in my life. I pick you to be the one that, is my person that I confide in and tell everything about. And then to watch it kind of fade at some point or diminish, and you have to create this art because you have this love for the art, because your art is probably your first true love. You know what I'm saying? It's a terrible situation sometimes. It's a great and a terrible situation, because without that experience, you're not going to get some of the content that you want to create. You're not going to get any of that content out. You're not going to get any of those songwriting out. You're not going to get any of that experience out. You're not going to be able to document any of that without that experience. But on a personal level, as an artist, you don't want to record, and you still have to push through and keep the art going, because the art is pretty much the only thing that's going to give you happiness from this point on, right? Because you just lost someone that was deeply connected to you. They might have been fed up with the whole situation. They might be like, hey, I'm over this. I'm not going to stand by you anymore because your art is interfering in some way or somehow. And you lose that, and as a human, not even an artist, it's just a human connection. Just to lose that is, it's kind of insufferable, right? You don't want to feel that. That's why a lot of people don't really want to feel that. And sometimes you get to create something that might help somebody else, might help you as well. But I just want to touch on that a little bit, right? I just want to say, I don't think artists are supposed to be loved. I think that we're supposed to experience love, and it's supposed to be taken away from us. And, if I'm wrong, hopefully I am wrong, whatever. But I just think every artist that I talk to kind of experienced that same thing, because I imagine it's got to be hard to love somebody that wants to be an artist, or that is an artist, or that creates, and finding out that they would dedicate so much time and energy into the art that they would neglect the person that is trying to give them, love and energy. I can imagine that's just a tough situation for everybody. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know how this sounds on the mic. I'm going to go back and listen to it and probably hate every word of it. But this is my second attempt at it. I'm going to keep documenting all the things that I think independent underground artists go through. These are some of my experiences. I don't know if they relate for everybody, but I know when I watch a lot of the stuff out there, every artist I see is in a wonderful, happy, amazing space. And I want to let everybody know that, being an artist is trash. It's great, but it is trash. It's not all videos and video shoots and photo shoots and whatever, man. I really do create. I really do go through this. A lot of times, I'm writing. I'm putting all my emotions in my music. So if you're listening to my music, a lot of that stuff is very real. It's needed for my conscience and my soul. But I just want to let it, just kind of want to touch on it, I guess. I want to touch on, hey, being an artist, and I imagine even if any artists, significant others, if you guys want to let me know as well, like, how hard is it to really love an artist? And do you kind of notice that sometimes the artist will put everything into the art and maybe not everything into the relationship? So I'm going to call it the end. Like I said, I've been talking for a little long. I'm going to wrap it up here. But it's your boy, Mike the Middleman. I don't know what we're calling this series yet. Something Middleman, all right? So this is, another documented truth, I guess. All right? Peace.
5:15, my feet hit the floor. Shit, shower, shave, then I head to the door. Since we moved to the burbs, I can't rhyme hardcore.
Nah, nigga, talk that killer shit, keep it gangster. Nope.
Walk past the room while my son still sleeps. Cause from this rap shit we still don't eat. Cause my name not synonymous with them streets. But this is one MC that knows how to ride a beat. bills stacked up, yo, I wanna get fucked. 9 to 5, taking over music and pushed to the back. Got that feeling like that big and meth track. Fuck the world, I can't ask for shit. Having vision, lose my son and my girl, my family and my world. Got me going back to smoking weed and drinking brew. I pray to God for answer, what should I do? Jesus walk, but we ain't spoken so long. That's why I had to get my feelings out on this song. About 30 years old, yo, I still ain't been put on. I'm starting to think the hype is true. What can I do? Lose my family or the music or both? I can't cope, got my mind confused and I'm twisted. I'm telling you, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. A wordsman, so you know that I'm gifted. Grown man should give up my dream. I'll grind out my ambitions for a hit and lose everything. Got me conflicted.